The survivors of gun violence will be testifying on Capitol Hill later today. They're calling on Congress for stronger background checks for gun buyers. It's become an especially hot issue ever since the January shooting in Tucson, Arizona that killed 6 people and wounded Congresswoman Gabrielle Giffords. Joining us this morning from Washington, Patricia Maisch, who's a survivor of the Tucson shooting. She helped tackle the gunman, and Mark Glaze, who's executive director of the group Mayors Against Illegal Guns, which is also testifying at today's hearing. It's good to have both of you with us. Patricia, we have to get your thoughts there. I know that watching the recovery of Congresswoman Giffords for so many, especially the people of Tucson, has been encouraging in ways that are probably tough to describe. But when you watch her speak there in this first interview, what does that do to you and to this cause that you have now adopted?
Oh, it just thrills me that she's able to speak that well, and after talking to her staffers, I know she's comprehending. She just can't express complex sentences, and just like they said on the report. So I'm just thrilled with the progress she's made.
Mark, even as you're pushing for these stronger measures when it comes to background checks, the reality of the situation is even these tougher measures which you are after would likely not have kept a gun out of the hands of Jared Loughner.
Well, we know that people under federal law who are seriously mentally ill, who have drug abuse problems, who are felons, are not allowed to get guns, and the background check system is supposed to stop them. We know that Jared Loughner had a drug arrest on his record. We know that he was not allowed to enlist in the military, possibly because of a history of drug abuse. We know that he was suspended from community college. So under current law, he may or may not have been caught in the background check system, but for us, that means we need to take a very close look at that system, make sure we fill the gaps in the do not sell database, and make sure that every gun sale in this country is subject to a simple background check, which is something that most people agree with.
A handgun possession around the country is up in some of the most recent numbers. How have you seen support either grow or perhaps not since the shooting in Tucson for the measures that you're after?
Well, it's interesting. I think most of the American people are exactly where our 600 mayors are. We have Republicans, Democrats, independents in our coalition of mayors, and all of them believe that you can strongly support the Second Amendment and the rights of law-abiding gun owners, but also do a lot more to keep guns out of the wrong hands, the next killer, the next Jared Loughner.
So if you do have the support, which you say fairly broad support, why is it taking so long to change things?
Well, we're not sure, and part of the reason we're in Washington today is to have a very direct conversation with members of Congress, along with the survivors of gun violence, Mayor Bloomberg and others who have come to Washington to say, it's been 10 months since Tucson, the solutions are there, we know what they are, what's taking so long.
Patricia, when you make your case to Congress today, this is obviously very personal for you. What will you say?
I'm going to remind them of the people who died, give them a little information about each person, but mainly I'm going to ask them to try to prevent this from happening again by fixing the gun check law, to keep guns out of people's hands that shouldn't have them, out of dangerous people, and to make sure that every gun sale has a background check.
Patricia Maisch, Mark Glaze, appreciate your time this morning. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.